when you talk about NVDA, so in NVDA, we have different mode. So mode is just like, let's say we have mode, browser mode. We have mode, which is a focus mode. When you talk about the browser mode, already we discussed that whenever we use linear navigation, we call as a browser mode, or I would say reading mode. I would say that, this is the focus mode. Okay. So there's two mode we have here, focus and browser mode. So I will turn on my NVDA just now.
Loading NVDA. Please wait. Well, okay. Okay, Google Chrome, Google, clickable link about, link store, link G, Google.
All right.
Address and search bar edit has autocomplete control plus L selected google.com.
So now my NVDA is turned on. If I start pressing tab button,
Google document, store link, Gmail link, images link, clickable Google Apps button, Google account, Bharat Anjana, search landmark, search combo box has auto.
So when I'm pressing my tab button, it's going to all the interactive elements only. Okay. So whatever will come in between, let's say there's some text are there, right? It will not go to that text. So this is we call a focus mode. Okay. But normally blind people will not use this mode actually, because they are not sure about, how many text, how many interactive elements they have left actually. They skipped it. So what they will do, they will be coming to
address and search bar edit has auto,
and they will be pressing a first
Google
time,
document,
go to body part of that HTML, and then from there they will start using up arrow and down arrow to just navigate through a linear navigation. So let me try that.
Link store, link Gmail link images, clickable button collapsed Google Apps, button collapsed Google account, graphic Google, search landmark clickable, search combo box has autocomplete editable, clickable, graphic Google.
Did you hear that? When I'm using my linear navigation, it's reading graphic for this one, for this image.
Google.
But this is not an interactive element. This is just image for me actually, right? This is an image on the page, which is not an interactive. Even if I come here, I cannot click on this, right? There's no link associated with this Google image. So that's why when you use linear navigation, you can navigate to each and every elements on the page, no matter it's an interactive or non-interactive. Okay. Yes. When you talk about focus mode, you will observe that your focus is going everywhere. See, if I press
search by Google search, I'm feeling generous button.
Right? Focus is going everywhere. But when you use your browser mode or linear navigation, your focus will be, sometime it will go with your cursor, or sometime it will not go actually. But let's say I'm a blind people, right? I'm using my screen reader. I cannot see the screen. For me, there's no, I mean, it's not matter for me, like, that it focus is visible there or not, because I cannot see the screen, right? For me, even the focus is visible there or not, doesn't matter for me, right? So if I press
button Google search, button search by voice.
So I know my focus is there on a voice button, but the visible focus is not there actually. So will ignore this focus visibility in this case. So whenever you will be testing your application, you have to check for focus visibility as well. But when you are not having your NVDA on, okay, so without turn on your NVDA or any screen reader, you have to check for visibility, focus visibility. But when you turn on your screen reader, there's no sense, because see, this screen reader is only made for low vision, and I would say this is made for a person who cannot see the thing. Okay, so for them, there's no sense of having focus there for every element. So even see, let me go.
Search combo box has clickable, graphic Google button clickable link Gmail link images.
Right. So this is the case actually. Let's say down the line you will say, okay, now focus is not visible for Gmail link. This is the issue. This is not an issue because you are blind, right? No, I mean, it's not matter for you, like, that whether focus is visible there or not actually. But yes, when you have turn off here,
Exit.
now my cylinder is not working, right? I turn off this. Now I have to see for focus. It should be visible. If it is not visible, then that's the issue. Okay. Even if you have your screen reader on and you want to see the focus visibility, don't go with the linear navigation. Go with the focus mode. Okay. Focus mode says you have to go with you have to just only press tab button and just see that whether your focus is going properly or not, in order or not. Actually, if your focus is not going in order, that's the issue. Let's say if you are here and directly your focus is coming to this one, right? That's the issue. We cannot skip any link, which is interactive, right? If you can click with your mouse, then why my focus is not going with keyboard? That's the issue. So that you have to check, and it should be proper. See, we are going left to right, so it's not like, your focus is coming to about first, then going to Gmail, and then it's coming to store, which is not right way. It should go in a left to right manner, and every element should receive a focus that we check. Okay, so this is the one. So now when you talk about the NVDA, to turn on that NVDA, okay, let me just show you how you can download it. Actually, it's very easy. It's very easy to download. You have to go to nvaccess.org, and then from there you can click on this. If you want to donate, you can donate, but it's a free of cost. Actually, it's up to you. You can skip donation, download it, and it will be installed on your machine. Actually, all right. So that you have to do, which is very, very easy process. But let's say you want to, now your NVDA is installed on your machine. You want to start your NVDA. So for that, you have one shortcut key, which is a Control Alt and N. Control Alt and N is the key which you have to use to turn on your NVDA. To turn off, you again have insert and Q. So Control plus Alt and turn on. And you have a insert plus Q to turn off. All right. This two key, because see, blind people will not use mouse, right? So they have to use only just shortcut key there. And we only use the shortcut key to access this NVDA or any screen reader actually on the page. Okay. So you can turn on with this. Now, as soon as you turn on this NVDA, you will see it will start reading the contents on the page, right? Which is very annoying actually. So what we have to do, we have to use control button. So we'll be using a control. As soon as you turn on your NVDA, you have to use stop reading. Stop reading, contents actually. See, we have to think, right? What we have to do. I don't want to listen everything on the page, whatever we have. I want to perform my operation. Okay. So I will say, okay, chill down. I will press control and it will stop reading. And then from there, let's say I want to go with a linear navigation. I can start using my left and right, up and down arrow. And if I just want to go with the focus mode, I can start tabbing through my keyboard and I can navigate on the page. So these two things I'll do. Another thing, let's say I don't want to do all, this both thing actually. I don't want to navigate with the linear navigation. I don't want to go with the focus mode. But I am very familiar with this page. I know on this page, let's say this is my page, and in this page, I visited this page so many times. So I know all this, what elements we have. So we have heading level 1, let's say some home button link. Then we have heading level 2, okay, which is something related to some other article. Okay. So, and also I have some here in H3. which is something more. Okay, so now I'm very familiar with my page, and we have many links here. There are so many links here. So let's say there are so many links we have here. Link, links, and images. Okay, in between all this. Okay, just a minute. All right. So to go to H2, I have so many links in between and images I have, right? So what I'm gonna do, I will not go with linear navigation. If I go with the linear navigation, it will read this header, then link, then link, then link, and images, and then we'll come to here. I don't want that actually. What I can do, I can use my shortcut key, and I know that whatever content I want to read, that content always come under this heading level 3. So why should I go with all this? I can directly press some key, shortcut key, and I can directly jump to heading 3rd, right? So here, when I'm familiar with my page, I'll be using a shortcut key, and I'll be going to that particular headings or landmark wherever I want to go actually. There's no sense to go with going to each and every element on the page. So let's do one thing. Let's try this and run our NVDA. So I'll be pressing Control Alt and N to turn on that.
Welcome to NVDA. Okay. Untitled paint window.
Let's
Google
go to page.
NVDA 2000 and search landmark. Search combo box.
So it's saying search landmark. So your page always have a different landmark, right? So your page always divided with a different landmark. So let's say
untitled paint window.
You have one page. Page will have
shapes.
This one. It's depend on the user actually, developer, how many landmark they are having on the page. So this is the search one.
Brushes.
So let's say this is my search.
RH.
Let's say I have
using text
footer.
tool.
I can make it footer. This is my footer. Okay. And the above, this is my
brush
banner.
Group.
So this is my footer.
R. Using text tool on using edit R. Using
let's say if I have this one, this is my left navigation, and let's say this is my main
tools.
Right? So this
tools
is my
group.
main landmark.
Edit N. N.
And this is
using
my
text tool. Using edit
left navigation.
R.
Okay. So
F.
left navigation. Because there will be one main navigation will be here, right, on the top. This is my
V.
Left navigation.
Using text tool on canvas.
Landmark. Okay.
L.
Will be landmark.
Space. L. Carriage return. D. M.
Okay. So this is how your page
using
is designed.
text tool on canvas.
So as soon as I come to
end the screen
this page,
end the screen reader, download Google search document.
Okay. It's when I go to search, it will say search landmark. When I go to Google image, it will say banner. When I go to in the bottom, it will say footer or content info. Okay. So this is how your page is divided actually. So let's start it. Let's see how we can navigate on the page. All right. So tab is there, and to activate, let's say if I start working on it,
main landmark.
So my tab will just go there and will select that item. But to activate that item, I have to press enter. Okay. Or let's say if you are going with a checkbox or radio button, you have to use your space bar. So space bar and enter button will work to activate any elements. Okay. Then let's say I don't know what this
download.
is actually. This is
menu
the
submenu.
heading.
Open link.
But let's
end the screen reader, download Google search document.
So this is a heading.
Greater class.
Okay.
Equals.
Let's do one thing.
Blank. End the screen reader, download.
Go to heading. Let's say I know there's a heading there which is NV access.
NV access.
Okay. I don't want to go to
NVD 0
all
NV,
this
free
link.
N
If I go with the tab, it will say
about more clickable
it's taking
NV
time,
access
right?
heading.
I have to press 4 to 5 times tab, and then it's going to that NV access link, which is a heading, right? Under heading. So what I can do, I can use my shortcut key, which is H. So H for heading. So as soon as, let's say, I want to jump only heading to heading, I can press H. So let's do it.
NV access heading level 3 link.
So this is the heading. I press H and my focus there. Let's try to go to previous heading. So what is the previous heading we have? Either we will be having NVDA 2019 or 2018 or download NV access. Let's try that. So to go to previous heading, to go to next heading, you have to use only just H. But if you want to go to a previous heading, you have to use Shift H. So let's try that. I will be pressing my Shift and H.
Web results heading level 2. Clickable NVDA 2018.1 now available. NVDA January 1st, 2019 update. Clickable download NV access heading level 3 visited link.
I'm going back actually. So that was my heading. So whatever heading you will be having on the page, it will go to heading to heading. It will not go to any link. But let's say my question is different here. What I want to go to only heading level 3. Because we know, right, we have different heading levels on the page. So
Microsoft edit
we'll be having heading level 1.
Greater.
And then we'll be having heading level 2, 3, 4, 5
less.
Until
percent
level
percent H
6.
Greater.
Okay. But what I can do, I have many headings level on the page, but I don't want to go to each and every headings on the page. I want to go to heading level 3 on the page. So what I can do, let's go to page.
NVDA screen reader download.
I will come to body. And what I'm gonna do, I will say H and I will use a 3. So H and 3 is like, I want to go to heading level 3rd. H and 2, which is heading level 2. Okay, so when I'll pressing 2, 2, 2, it will just go to heading level 2 only after H. So let's try that.
Search modes heading level 1.
Heading level 1. But I want to go to heading level 2.
Main landmark clickable web result with side links heading level 2. Web results heading level 2. Clickable people also ask about this result heading level 2. Web results heading level 2. Clickable searches related to NVDA screen reader download heading level 2.
So what I did, I filter all the headings. What I did, I press H and I know my content is under a heading level 2 on the page. Why should I go with all the headings on the page? If I know it, if I know that my contents are which I read every day, that comes under a heading level 2. So I can press H and I can press 2. It will go to all the headings 2 to 2 on the page. If I just want to go to heading level 3, I can use just H.
Navigation next link heading no next heading at level 3.
So suppose there is a 2 heading level 3 available on the page, it will navigate to all heading level 3. And if it is no, then it will say there's no heading level 3 is available on the page. So this is how you can navigate through with your NVDA and with your shortcut key, which is H. Okay. So now my another question is like, suppose I want to navigate on the landmark, because I know this is my footer
terms.
Okay. And this is my search landmark. Okay. If I'm here,
address and search.
If I'm here, I want to enter something in my search. Okay. If I go with the focus mode or linear navigation, again, it will be problem like, right? I have to press 3-4 times tab, or let's say this text box is not there. It's here somewhere.
We have all
right. Again, I have to press so many tabs. I have to press so many times, and then I will come to this search landmark. So what I can do here, I can say, I will just press D for landmark. So when you talk about the NVDA, D keyword we use for just going to a landmark. So let's say
content info landmark footer links no next landmark. Navigation landmark page, main landmark clickable, navigation landmark news, search landmark Google graphic link go to Google Home.
These are the landmark we have. To see all the landmarks on the page, we can say insert F7.
Windows Shell Experience Host Window. NVDA Screen Reader Download Google Search Google Elements List Dialog.
See,
Tree View. Level 0 Google 4 of 51.
You have to use insert F7 when your NVDA is on. So you can see here, you can see all the links available on the page. You can see all the headings on the page. You can see all the form field on the page. You can also see button and landmark. Okay. Normally blind user will not use this, but for your testing purpose, I'm just telling you that, this is how you can see all the links, headings, form, button, and landmark. Okay. So let's see
Element,
landmark here.
landmark, type, grouping, landmarks, radio button pressed not checked, Alt plus
So
D,
we have a
checked.
5 landmark on the page. Search, which we saw, navigation, which is there, main landmark, navigation landmark, and content info. Content info, which is footer one. Okay. So if suppose I want to go to search landmark, I want to type something right there. So I can just select it.
Search, tree view, element, move, Google graphic, search landmark. Oh,
I can write anything here. So this is the beauty of, NVDA actually. So I don't want to waste my time. I just want to go to, and that's why we always ask developer to just have landmark properly on the page. Because suppose, see, I can see my screen and I can do anything, whatever I can do, right? I can directly go to that search text box and I can enter anything, I can search anything. But what about the people who cannot see the screen? For them, we need a proper heading, which is in proper order in hierarchy way. And we also need a landmark. Our page should divide into a landmark. If it is not divided into landmark, it's very hard for me to go to or jump to heading or landmark to landmark on the page. So be sure that when you are designing, when you are testing any page, and if you are finding there's no landmark they have given there on that page, you have to ask your developer that, please have some landmark there so that, we can directly see this landmark make things my easy, right? I can directly go to that search landmark and I can enter anything. If it is not there, then what is the option? I don't have any option. I have to just keep pressing tab and tab, and then I will come to that search. Okay. So that's why. So just remember, we have to use a D for going to each and every landmark on the page. If I press D one time, it will go to one landmark. If you press again D, it will go to another landmark on the page. So H for heading, D for your landmark. And if you want to see all the headings, form fields, buttons, landmark, what you have to do? You have to use insert F7. So insert F7 will give you the list of headings, form fields, button, landmark, and everything. Clear? Now, let's talk about they will ask you one question about, okay, you have one table on the page. How do you navigate on that page? Okay. So to go to table on the page, what you have to do? You have to use a T for table. So T is a shortcut key for that NVDA. Every screen reader have a different set of shortcut key. Okay. So for JAWS and NVDA both have, kind of similar shortcut key. So even if you use NVDA or JAWS, you have to use T for going to table on the page. And now you are on the table on you jump to table. Now you have to navigate on the table as well, right? So what you do to navigate on the table, to navigate on each and every cell on the table, right? You have to use Control Alt left, right, up and down arrow button. Okay, so left, right, up and down arrow button. If you press, if you use, then you will able to navigate on the table. And table, what should table have? Table should always have a caption. Caption work as a title for the table, and also your table should have a proper column header and row header. If both is not there, it will not read a proper header or column header when you are navigating on the cell. So we should be having both there when we are designing our table. Clear? Now this is the thing. If suppose, let's see some more commands here, and then we'll go to another tool actually. So let's say if you want to see, normally when you perform testing, now whatever shortcut key I will tell you, which we never use actually. Okay, for our testing purpose, if you want to use, you can use, but blind people will not use that. Actually, we will be using that only just for our testing purpose. Okay, normally we use only just linear navigation, focus mode. Okay, and we also use a H for headings. We also use D for landmark, and tab is already there actually. Okay, so these are the shortcut key which we use. But let me tell you some more actually here.
End
So
this screen.
let's say you want to go to a
From Chohan Parth to everyone.
next link. Next link, you can do one thing.
K. Navigation landmark news link, videos link, images link, shopping link, main landmark click, NVDA, NVDA 2, more results from clickable feedback link. Clickable NVDA 2020.1 released NV Access heading level 3 www.nvaccess.org post NVDA 2021 release.
So when I press A, it will navigate you to all the link. So as soon as you press K, it will go to a next link actually on the page. Okay. Let's say you want to navigate to unvisited link, which you never visited actually. So you can use U.
Clickable download NV Act, clickable about N, clickable NVDA, clickable NVDA, clickable download NVD, clickable non-visual desktop access, new general.
So whatever the unvisited link you have on the page, you want to navigate to that link, you can use your U. But make sure when, let's say when you press U, you will go to forward whatever the links you have on the page actually. But let's say you want to go to a previous link. Okay, previous unvisited link, you have to use shift. Always when you go to previous element, you have to use shift. Even if you want to go to a previous heading, you have to use shift. So whenever you want to go to previous element, you have to use shift button. Okay. So now let's say you want to go to graphics. So for graphics, you can say G for graphics.
No next graphic.
So suppose now there's no graphics after this. It will say no graphic. But let's try to press shift and G.
Main landmark clickable unlabeled graphic clickable heading level 3.
So this is what we have actually. So if you use shift and G, it will go to the page on the top actually, the previous elements. And we have there's a one graphics there. Okay, so this is there. And T for table. Tab we already discussed that, it's it's for to just read next focusable element on the page. Okay, let's say you want to go to only just form. So for form, what you can do, form field actually. So form field could be checkbox, radio button, drop down. All this is my form field. So let's try F.
Clickable about this result button menu button collapse sub menu. Clickable about this result button. Clickable what is NVDA tool? About this result. Clickable what about this clickable what is the use of clickable about this clickable about this result button menu button clickable about this result button about F N F. Clickable about this result. Clickable what is NVDA tool? About this result button. Clickable what is the about this result button menu but clickable what is the about this result button menu button collapse feedback link.
See, this link they are having under a form.
Clickable about this result button menu button. Clickable download NV access heading about this result button menu
and
button collapse sub menu.
So let's try this.
Annotate.
Go to
Google search landmark Google document. Search landmark.
So if I
menu sub menu. Google document.
And let's search for form.
Edit find by M. 3 of 16. 5 of 16.
Let me do one thing here.
Button.
So let me
Google document.
I'm here.
Google
I just
document.
come to this page. I'll press my F.
Google Apps button collapsed. Google account. Borrow. Search landmark search combo box has autocomplete
so
editable search.
Which is it announcing? Come under a form. And every form has, form field actually, right? So this edit box and menu buttons, all this is coming under a form. So even if I come
Menu
here,
submenu, Google document, search, page
and
do,
if I search for
edit
form,
find by, M. SOAP UI5, Sends, SOAP UI5, Elements panel property page,
so let
memory.
me search for this
Clickable
one.
all bar toggle button not pressed, Elements tab selected, Google Doc, element, RNN, Elements panel property page.
See,
Action, page DOM tree view.
so whatever you will be having under a form, your focus will go to that element if you press F. So let's say this search edit box is under a form tag, then your focus will go to that form, a search edit box. If it is out of this form tag, then your focus will not go to that edit box if you press F. So whenever you will be pressing F, it will go to all the form field elements on the page. All right. So this is what you will be doing here. And all right.
Styles panel property page,
What else?
clickable filter styles, edit filter toggle element state,
So yeah,
toggle button not pressed,
these are the thing actually which
exit
we
NVDA,
have
Google.
on NVDA. So mostly we use our T for table, headings, landmark, link. We just saw, if you press K, it will go to a link, all the links. If you press U, we navigate to all the unvisited link. If you press V, so it will go to all the visited link on the page. If you press G, it will go to all the graphics on the page. If you press let's say L, so it will go to all the list item on the page. So let's say there's a list they have used right on the page, it will go to all the list item if you press L. And under that list, if you have some list item and you want to navigate to list item, you will be using I for all the list item on the page under that list. Okay. And then you will be using B for button. Okay. F for form field. So if you suppose you have a form field on page, you have to use just F. It will go to all the form field on the page. To go to table, it will be T. To navigate on the table, it will be Control Alt, up, left, right, and all the arrows you have to use to navigate on the table. As soon as you go to a table, first you have to use T. To go to previous table, you have to use again Shift. Shift you always have to use when you want to go to a previous elements. Okay, so this is how it will work. Normally blind people will not use all this. They will be using only just few shortcut key, just like they will be using H to navigate on the page using a H, and then they will be using D for landmark to navigate to all the landmarks on the page. They will be using T. They don't want to go to all the entire page, right? They want to go to just table. They will be using T for table. So this is the thing which they will be using to navigate on the page. But for testing purpose, we should know that we normally don't use U, V, K, all this shortcut key we never use actually. Because see, for our purpose is just to make sure we have all the elements properly on the page or not. They should be in order. When I'm using my linear navigation, I should be able to read each and every elements on the page, because linear navigation will read each and everything on the page, whether it's interactive or non-interactive. Okay, so we just go with this 2 mode. Even in interview as well, they will ask you that how many modes you have. So you have 3 modes. One mode, which is a form mode, we can say, which is a browser mode. Another mode, which is a focus mode when we use tab, and there's a one more which is a table mode. So for table mode, it's like T, and just use your Control Alt and up and down all the arrows actually. This is the table mode. So these are 3 modes which we have. This mode will be available everywhere in every screen reader. Okay, so the way will be little different. Shortcut key will be little different, but you will be having different shortcut key. But this mode will be available on across all the screen reader.